Well, when we started this little journey taking over TSV 1860 Munich, trying to get them from the Dritte Liga to the Bundesliga, we had one major rule. No active transfers before the January transfer window. That means we aren't looking for players, we're not bringing anybody in, and we are not actively selling anybody unless they come to us. Well, guess what day it is? Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to episode 5 of the return of TSV 1860. I'm Mr. Cellophane. I hope you are having an absolutely wonderful day. As you can tell by the date in the top right corner on your screen, it's January the 1st, and the January transfer window is open, which means the embargo that we placed upon ourselves has been lifted. We are just about midway through the season. 17 games in, we find ourselves in 5th place, 8 wins, 8 draws, 1 loss, a plus 10 goal differential, sitting on 32 points. And while there is a little bit of concern to be had being in 5th, because our goal, not only set on by me as head coach, but also by our board and our supporters, is to at least make the Dritte Liga playoffs, which means at least a 3rd place finish. And we're falling a little short of that. And believe me, the board has already let us know that they are dissatisfied. However, you may also notice we are only 4 points out of the top spot. So we could very easily go either way. Now, we have had a bit of a hiccup in our play, as you can see by our results. After we lost to Erzgebirge, we drew twice against Dortmund and Ingolstadt, both 0-0. We picked up a 1-0 victory over Osnabrück. That all happened in the last episode. And since, while we have gone undefeated, only 1 win in those 5 league matches. A 1-1 draw against Wehen Wiesbaden, a 3-2 victory away against Bayreuth, and then Saarbrücken, a 3-3 draw with a pair of goals by Loni Raphael Holzhauer, Mariskinderovic also picking one up in the 39th minute. So we had gotten off to a very good start in that game, but we ended up bottling it toward the end. We then took on SC Freiburg's second team, 2-2 draw away from home, and we ended up the first half of our season against RW Essen with a 1-1 draw at home. Finn Lachenmacher, the only goal scorer for us in that match. In fact, that was his first goal since August the 27th. So he got off to a very quick start with 6 goals. He is now sitting on 7. He does still lead the team. So we do have a lengthy break in the middle. So we set up 5 friendlies to play out, to kind of keep ourselves a little bit fresh before the second half of the season starts. Our first match, we took on TSV Dachau. That one was at home. We won 3-0. And then we took on Toulouse, who is a Ligue 1 side. Granted, they are currently in last place in Ligue 1. But we beat a Ligue 1 side 3-0 before we drew 0-0 away in the snow at Mainz Legnica, the Polish side. Where do we stand with the team? Well, here is the depth chart as it stands right now. Steinhardt, Lannert, we're still feeling a little iffy on them, both on the left and the right side. Lannert's kind of fallen out of favor a little bit. We are definitely set with Morgalla in the central defense. Jesper Verlat, he's 32 years old. He is a mainstay of the squad. He is losing a step a little bit. He's not as fast as we would like. So we definitely want to be shoring up our central defense. Tim Reeder is kind of backing up both. Nicholas Long also backing up as well, but we lack a little bit of depth there. Right back is where we've had our most trouble. We're trying out currently Yannick Diekman. We also have made our first move. We have brought Luis Podolski in on loan from Hanover. Now, if you do attend the Twitch streams, we are currently managing VfB Stuttgart, and Podolski is a member of that squad a couple of years on. Here we're getting him at 18 years old. think he's got a little bit more potential than maybe he's showing in our other save. He stands at 5'11". He's decent defensively. He's got some pace on him. He can move the ball. He can pass the ball. So we're hoping that if he doesn't slot in as a starter, then we may at least have a bit more of a serviceable backup. And in fact, that's how the board is looking at him right now. We're going to leave the midfield for a moment and go to the attack. We are very happy with Albion Vernezzi on the left wing. He's got Skenderovic backing him up. Also Grealinger, who has picked up an injury, which we hope he'll be back for that second half of the season. Skenderovic, though, is our starter on the right-hand side, with Marcel Barr sliding in behind Skenderovic and Vernezzi. Now, Barr is okay. He's good. He is our team captain, and he also is one of the favored personnel. So we do need to kind of keep him happy, keep him in the squad. But we could use a little bit more depth on both wings. Up the middle, we've got the Loney Holzhauer. He's been with us since the beginning of the year. He's going to be swapping time with Kobylanski. Kobylanski hasn't been getting a ton of opportunities as we've been leaning a little bit more on Holzhauer, knowing that Holzhauer is not a permanent solution for the future, as he will be going back to his parent club at the end of the year. Kobylanski, though, may bring us some value. So Kobylanski, his days here at 1860 Munich may be numbered. Up front, we have the 22-year-old Finn Lockenmacher, again, leading the team with 7 goals, and behind him is Stefan Lex. Stefan Lex has been a pretty good super sub for us. He's made a couple of appearances off the bench where he has come in and scored. However, we do want somebody who's a little bit more reliable in that position. Now, the biggest area of concern for us right now is in the midfield. We do have a lot of solid, if not unspectacular players. So we are going to be looking to bolster those 2 ranks as well, both in the anchor position, which is currently occupied by Tim Reeder, with Kieran Mull and Daniel Wine behind him, and the newly instituted Segundo Volante, as we have made some tactical changes throughout this friendly period, this winter break, if you will, with Yannick Diekman and Holzhauer potentially being back there when Kobylanski is in the more attacking advanced playmaker position. And, of course, Nathan Vicht, who is still 18 years old and very raw. The board does seem to like him, and they like the potential that he has, but maybe we need to shore some things up, and maybe we'll send Vicht out on loan. We're not sure. Our biggest concern right now is with our finances. Now, we did make a move with the board originally, and I didn't realize this at first. Originally, the board was only allowing 10% of all sale proceeds to go back into the transfer budget, which meant that we had only a transfer budget of about £7,000 after we made a move for $70,000. We did go to the board, and we begged and we pleaded, and we asked very, very nicely, and now they're giving us 25%, which, while not perfect, it's better. Now, you may see that we have £82,000 right now in the transfer budget and only about $4,500 in the payroll budget. That's because we had about 10 grand in the payroll budget. We shifted some over to the transfer budget to allow us to make some moves in before we made any moves out, because I'm not 100% sure how much we're actually going to get for any of our players and how many of our players we're going to want to sell. I kind of want to know who's coming in before we figure out who's going out. And looking at the transfer history, it is very sparse. And if you remember from the very first episode, most of the names on this list were on there already when we took over as head coach. All of those free transfers and the loans out happened before our time. The only transfer we were responsible for was the sale of Eric Tollig to Hoffenheim for £70,000 up front for a deal that could be worth £98,000. That happened because Hoffenheim came to us, and it was really the best offer that we thought we could have, and we wanted to have a little bit of financial playroom just in case somebody came to us and said, hey, how about this guy? Now, the only one we have brought in is Louis Podolski. We've already reviewed him coming over from Hanover, and of course the loan in at the beginning of the year of Raphael Holzhauer. And now all we can do is hit advance, see who we get, see who we have to give up. Almost forgot to review our club vision and where we stand right now, and It's not bad, but it's not great. Obviously, we are on course for working within the payroll budget, but they are disappointed that obviously we're not in the playoff spot, as I alluded to earlier. And they also are very disappointed that we haven't signed any players under the age of 23 for the first team. Now, of course, it's because we weren't signing any players for the first half of the season, but they kind of didn't know that. So, of course, that's going to be our focus as we move into this January transfer window, looking for young players that can slot into our first team either in a starting or a reserve capacity, and hopefully we'll find more than a couple. Well, so far the transfer window isn't going exactly as we planned it to, as it appears more players are going out than coming in. Michael Gluck, 19-year-old defenseman, rejected a new contract offer from us to keep him on. His contract expires at the end of the year, so he's going to be joining Sandhausen in July. Also, Leandro Morgalla has started to receive interest from some pretty big clubs. Augsburg and Hertha Berlin have both been in the offers for him. The Bundesliga is calling. We've rejected them so far, but now he's unhappy because he wants to move on to bigger and better things. Unfortunately, it looks like Morgalla is not going to be with the club for the future. Now, we haven't sold him yet, but it's almost a foregone conclusion because now he won't talk about a contract extension with us. So if we do have to sell him on to the Bundesliga, hopefully we'll be able to loan him back for the remainder of the year. A couple of other players are going to be moving on at the end of the season. Yannick Diekman and Damjan Dorden have both signed contracts for once their contract has expired in July. We have rejected transfer offers for 19-year-old midfielder Raphael Wack, but who knows if he's going to be able to stick around for very long. They were looking for him on a free transfer. We'd like to get something at least out of it if we are going to lose a young player. We're going to be loaning out Joseph Boyamba. At least that is the hope. We've received a couple of offers. No money involved for us, but Boyamba is not getting any playing time with the squad, so it's probably best that he moves on. And Samir Naziri is also going to be leaving at the end of his contract. That does not mean that we are not doing business. We did have an offer in for a 19-year-old defenseman out of Bayern Munich, Liam Morrison, but he has opted to go elsewhere. But Max Rosenfelder from Freiburg has agreed to join us for £75,000 up front, $275,000 after a full 3 years. We did have to delay that because we didn't have the money at the time, but we were able to complete another sale to make that happen. Nathan Vicht is going to be joining second Bundesliga side Jan Regensburg. We played them in a friendly. We actually beat them 1-0 at home in one of our tune-up friendlies. £95,000 we received for Vicht. Just the offers came in. We were able to negotiate them up. Actually, Jan Regensburg was the lowest offer that we had accepted, but unfortunately that's where the player wanted to go. So we do have additional money in the coffers where we will eventually be able to bring in our brand new center back / defensive midfielder, Max Rosenfelder, which we should be able to complete in the next couple of days. And there are other deals that will be going on. But first, we have our first game back against SV Waldorf Mannheim, sitting in 13th place here in the Dritte Liga. We're going to be taking them on the road, and here's how we're going to line up. Hiller's going to be in goal. It's going to be Lannert at left back, Morgalla and Verlat in the central halfback positions. Morgalla, as long as he's going to be on the squad, he is going to be in the squad. Podolski is going to get his first regular season start at right back. We've got a brand new configuration in the midfield. It's going to be Diekman and Reeder. Vernezi is going to be our left wing, Skenderovic on the right-hand side, Holzhauer up the middle, and Finn Lockenmacher leading the line, hoping to be able to add on to his current team total, lead total, I should say, of 7 goals. Going to give number 24 to Podolski. He's going to enjoy that. We're going to head into this match. Hopefully, we'll be able to start this second half of the season off on the right foot. Mannheim has won 2 of their last 5. It is their last 2 matches. We have currently drawn 3 in a row. Haven't dropped any games, but we have been dropping points. So let's keep this good run going, and hopefully we'll be able to pick up all 3 on the road. It is a cold afternoon in Mannheim, 33 degrees, some sleet. It's going to be tricky conditions out there, but we'll see how we can do. Things getting off, obviously, on the right foot for Waldorf Mannheim as they begin. Riedel's going to take it up. Stolen away by Skenderovich. He's going to carry it up that right wing side. Run into some trouble. Riedel will take it away. And even with this point, we've already moved into 4th place. Sohm, deep, laying it back for Riedel. Bonds in the middle. He takes a shot. That's going to be blocked by Morgalla. It's going to go out for a corner kick. And an offensive chance here in the first 2 minutes as LeBeau lines up over the ball, sends it in. It's going to be headed away. Skenderovich is going to chase after, but Riedel will get there first. Carries it towards the inside, lays it back for Jans. Carrying it forward into the middle. Sohm, headed away by Morgalla. Shot in from distance is blocked out. It's going to be yet another corner kick for Waldorf Mannheim. LeBeau's going to get a second opportunity here early. Sending it in, looking far post, headed away. Rieder knocks it down. Riedel's got it, though. Hager, Bond, back for Riedel. Siegert finds Bond. He's being harassed. Jans has it now deep on the defense. Lays it for Bonds. Got it on the near side. He's going to play it all the way back to safety to the goalkeeper. They're going to look to restart. Good defense so far. Nice sliding tackle made by Diekman as the ball is laid ahead. Lannert's there. He's cut off. He'll play it back to Vrenesi, who gives it off to Morgalla. Lannert, Holzhauer, Vrenesi. Lannert ahead. Holzhauer is there. He's got 2 men on him. Back for Lannert. Back far post. Skenderovich, and a save made by Behrens. 1860 Munich doing a good job of possessing the ball in the midfield and pushing it forward. Finally getting the attempt on goal. Just can't get it home. 6 minutes in, Lannert's got it. He's looking for Vrenesi, but Jans is there instead. Carrying it up. Vrenesi back to cover. Lays it to Bond, moving it inside. Winkler has it. LeBeau moving to his left. Passes it left wing Riedel. He's met in front. Podolski gets around him in front, and Pascal Sohm on the doorstep is going to put in his 6th of the year, except the assistant referee's flag was up. Yes, he was offside, even though just by a tiny little bit, the goal will be disallowed. Not exactly the start we were looking for. We did a decent job moving the ball when we had it, but so far, possession appears to be dominated by Waldorf Mannheim. Still 0-0, though, as we move into the 27th minute. Podolski's going to throw it in deep in their end. Skenderovich has it. Works his way past one defender into the middle. Throwing it on target, but just missing high and wide. Looking for that top corner. It will be a goal kick. As I mentioned, so we have moved up on goal difference. We are ahead of Duisburg on 33 points. Now 6 behind Osnabrück. Osnabrück right now appears to be winning their contest. Another throw in. Podolski's got it. Flips it ahead. Skanderovski. Lockenmacher throws it in. His 8th goal of the season. Skanderovic popping the pass into the middle. Lockenmacher gets under it and puts it behind Behrens for the 1-0 lead. And this is the kind of offense that we are looking to have. Aggressive, aerial, getting behind the defense, doing everything that we can to put balls on the net. Because when you put a ball on the net, only good things could potentially happen. Sometimes the goalie's going to save it, but if you don't take the shot, you can't score the goal. And with that, we now, on the live table, sitting at 35 points, just 2 off of the lead. Free kick for LeBeau at the end, and oh my goodness gracious, Adrien LeBeau sticks it inside the far post, clangs it off of the woodwork. Hiller unable to get over and make that stop. And just at the end of the first half, Waldorf Mannheim has come back to equalize at 1. That was unfortunate. We're not going to make any changes yet as we make our way into the beginning of the second half. Hoping that we can have the type of offensive play that led to the goal continue on. Now, it looks like Finn Lockenmacher has picked up a slight knock. So we're going to be looking right now. Yeah, in fact, it's become slightly more than slight. Lockenmacher's going to need to come off. So Stefan Lex is going to take his spot. We've been talking about this before, how Lex is has been very good as a substitute so far this season. In fact, he was the one, as a sub, who picked up the goal against Jans Regenburg in the last friendly that we played. He picked that up late and even had a bid in the 90th minute to add a second. So we're hoping that Stefan Lex can have the same effect on the game that he did in that friendly. Skenderovic with a header on off of the free kick, just missing that post, and it goes out. It's going to be a goal kick. Jesper Verlat's looking a little bit tired, so we're going to be looking to take him off. That's one of the concerns we're having, which is why we are trying very hard to add some more depth at center back. Jesper Verlat could potentially lose his starting spot once those moves are made. We're not 100% sure where we're going to be playing our new addition, whether we're going to have him in playing as a halfback or playing in that more defensive midfielder role. Not sure yet. Podolski with the throw-in. 10 minutes to go. Sent across, looking for Vernenzi. Jens clears it. Vernenzi gets it back. Plays it ahead for Lannert on the overlap. In the middle, Skenderovic heads it on and scores. Christopher Lannert with a masterful cross. And Skenderovic gets in there, heads it in past the goalkeeper, and it's 2-1, 1860 Munich. Beautiful play by Lannert on the overlap. Skenderovic has two defensemen behind him, is able to step in front, use his height, and get it in past the goalkeeper. And once again, Munich finds themselves in a winning position late in the game. We are going to make one last sub. Now, normally I don't like making subs this late in the game, but Vernenzi is not feeling well. He is hurt. We're going to bring in Milos Kocic to take his place, and hopefully the Vernenzi injury isn't going to be too bad. 6 minutes have been added on, though, as a result. Let's see if we can hold on. Right now, we are sitting in that playoff spot once again. Mole's going to get it started, get it back from Diekman, sends it long. Unable to find one of his men. Siegert will backtrack. Final minute, Skenderovic takes it away. He's got it. Reeder ahead for Holzhauer. Holzhauer with a long shot, and he can't tuck it under the crossbar. It's going to just go off the top of the woodwork and behind. And one last chance for Mannheim to go up. Behrens can't get it past the defense. Kocic is going to send it long. Behrens will grab it at the edge of the box, and that's going to do it for the game. It is full time. The whistle is blown, and Munich on the road has finally broken that streak of draws with a 2-1 victory. Luckily for us, we do have good news. The injuries to Vernetzi and Lockenmacher, both not serious. They're only going to be out for a couple of days, so we're going to give them a little bit of rest before our next matchup, and that's going to be coming up in just about a week. Yes, FSV Zwickau at home, so we got plenty of time to rest everybody up. Hopefully we'll have some new bodies in, and everything is going to be just fine. Big win on the road. Back in playoff position where we need to be, and only 2 points off of the lead. Still 2 weeks left in the transfer window. Hopefully we're going to be able to bring in a body or two. I mean, well, we are going to bring in a body. We're just waiting to be able to finalize that deal. But hopefully we've got some more guys coming in, and that'll really get us set for the stretch run. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big old like and subscribe to the channel for more FM23 content. Thank you very much for joining me. Next episode is coming on Friday, and I hope to see you there. Bye-bye.